And good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you are around the world. I am Marcus Holmes, the HR Passion Guy, bringing you yet another installment of Passion Fridays. And we're going to quickly do a truncated mindfulness moment as we go into an opportunity for you to support a wonderful organization and cause that I think is worthy of your support. And so we will do that very shortly. I'm going to go right into the mindfulness moment and share my screen so that you can see the virtual room that we have in partnership with select window screen. Okay. Yes. Yes, that we have in partnership. I'm going to do the mindfulness room screen. And we will share the mindfulness room screen. Hopefully you can see it. And this is an avatar that I've selected for our truncated because I just wanted to show that you can do different representations of yourself in avatars. And so I wanted to show one, of course, as what we call cornrows, but you can choose afros, regular hair, it just depends on how you're feeling. So by now you know that the mind can be pretty noisy. And when it comes to mindfulness, you may be worried that you're not able to do things just right. But remember that meditation isn't to stop your thoughts. Simply pay attention to them and just watch them come and go. And so we're building our attention muscle each time. So we catch ourselves having a thought and bring ourselves back. What we do is in that muscle. It's folding that piece of paper, as I told you before. The first time you fold it, it takes concentration and effort. But over time, it gets easier and easier. So gentle with yourself. Watch yourself with a bit of humor and compassion. Okay? So find your comfortable seat or position, even if it's laying down on a couch or sitting in a seat as I am. And when you are ready, close your eyes. And as you're doing that, I want you to just pay attention to the thoughts. What are your current thoughts? Just notice your current thoughts. And then I want you to drift away into thinking about the seat that you're sitting on, legs or bottom being connected to it, couch you're laying on. And what are the thoughts as you drift into that? Just notice thoughts that come to you. Don't chase them away. Just pay attention to they come and go. As they come, whatever they are, without judgment, just as they come and go. Focus on those thoughts. Now we're going to take 3 cleansing deep breaths on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. And now exhale. Good. Breathe in. And now exhale. Breathe in. And now more slowly exhale, thinking about the present thoughts. The more you do this, you'll do fuller breathing in so that you feel your ribs and belly interacting with the breath. Now just breathe in normally, relax your limbs, shake them a little bit. Identify any sounds in your immediate area, or if you're hearing the sound of the music in the virtual reality, just Hear the sounds and focus on the thoughts that it evokes. Okay, it's giving me some challenge in this virtual reality, so I am going to have to dip out of this virtual reality. Just so that we don't have any challenges with that. Okay. So you're going to hear the music dissipate, but we'll continue the exercise. Looks like we're having a slight bandwidth issue. Okay. Hello from France, I see on LinkedIn. Is it a reflection or a wish of our identity? It is just the thoughts. I just want you to focus in on the thoughts. I ended the music, but I wanted to, because I always want you to get an opportunity to be in the virtual reality, and we'll work on our bandwidth challenges. Now, I want you to begin to scan your body, being fully present. Catch yourself noticing whatever thoughts, like Simone is saying, and bonjour to you. It's a reflection of what you are feeling or thinking. What's the thoughts that are coming to you? As those thoughts are coming, I want you to get in tune with what's happening in your body. And what I mean by that is this, your legs you're feeling against the chair. Are there any thoughts coming around those legs? Tension, pain? Are there any other sources of tension or pain? As you breathe in, can you feel the nose touching the hairs in your nostril? Can you feel your nostrils expanding or contracting? What are the thoughts? Don't chase those thoughts away, but experience them and watch them just come and go. Imagine those as thoughts that are riding a bike past you or driving past you, and just take notice of those thoughts as they come and go. Take notice of your fingers, of your hands, of the dryness or wetness or moisture. And what are the thoughts that are associated with those? Let them come and go as they're passing cars down the street, or as if they were a bike riding down the pathway. Just experience the thought, not giving so much weight to it for judgment, but just the thought. And you could do that continuously as you are breathing regularly with each body part, to just think about the thoughts. And once you're able to just focus in on any of those thoughts, then you can start to move into the kind of thoughts that you want to create powerful pathways and memories to connect. And you can begin to unlock those more easily. You set in the moments of reflection and meditation, and you began to become mindful. And this is where I would say you embark upon the habit of gratefulness, where you start to reflect and meditate on the things for which you are grateful. And that's what our gratefulness journey book is all about. Okay, so I wanted to do that. I apologize that we weren't able to stay in the virtual reality, and we'll continue to work on that. It requires quite a bit of bandwidth to show you that live while we are in the room, because it's a virtual reality. And if you are interested in having a mindfulness room for your organization, an onboarding room, a learning and development room, a recruitment room, a town hall meeting room, and you want to give a little spice to Zoom or something else, the virtual events is a great opportunity, and you can inbox me and I'd be happy to connect you with Richard Olaf and his team. All right, so I want to go into something pretty important to me. I am a foodie. I love to eat. And if you watched recently any of the recent episodes, you may have seen an episode where I did my first seafood mukbang kind of challenge, where I had lobster tails and crab legs, some eggs and some potatoes, and this beloved sauce that I made of my own version to kind of test out this mukbang that you see has popularized YouTube. It was fun to do, and it reminded me of a partnership, a commitment that I have to an organization which I think is a great organization, which is Covenant House. I pledged to give to them monthly, and during the month of March, any giving that happens, it will be matched, it will be doubled through March 31st to help people around the world, really, who, especially young people around the world, who experience food insecurities and life insecurities. I'm going to share with you a little bit about Covenant House, but I'm also going to share with you some small videos. I hope we will be able to do it without any challenge. Some small videos of Covenant House so that you will maybe think about how you could give to Covenant House during this month to help a host of young people who Covenant House is all about. They're really an awesome organization. And so I do want to share a little bit of information with you about Covenant House. They have served over 1 million boys and girls since opening their doors in 1972. For more than 4 decades, they have helped to transform and save the lives of homeless, runaway, and trafficked young people. They offer housing and support services to young people in need, reaching over 74,000 every year. They help them come off the streets, young people. They're usually disconnected from their families and other support systems, social support systems. They have endured traumatic and adverse childhood experiences. In addition to living on the street, many of them have survived abusive homes, spent time in juvenile justice facilities, and they've aged out of the foster care system. And some have been victims, unfortunately, of human trafficking and exploitation. So they have a comprehensive model and are in many cities around the world, and around the country especially. And their guiding principles are immediacy, helping to meet the basic needs immediately, a sanctuary where it's a safe haven from hardships of homelessness and other social ills, value communication that they demonstrate through caring relationships that are based on trust, love, respect, and honesty, that they are there to help. Their structure, it provides a stability to build for young people a positive future. And then choice. They foster confidence, encouraging young people to believe in themselves and make informed choices for their lives. So I want to play a couple of short videos, and I hope that they play just perfectly so that you will consider this month of March, where the giving will be doubled, helping our young people to build and foster a positive future.
Hi, I'm Today Powell. I'm 19, originally from Washington, D.C., but I moved here from South Carolina. My childhood was a little bit all over the place. My childhood has always been very family-oriented. I was raised by a single mother, but we moved a lot. So we moved from Maryland to South Carolina, and we were always kind of back and forth from Maryland to South Carolina, traveling up and down the road. But my childhood was pretty good, though. I could say it was actually pretty enjoyable. I had a lot of good times in my childhood. The passing of my mother, who was a single mother of 3, she passed away, so it left me in a spot of like, what do you do now? What do you do next? And I ended up getting a job offering here in Atlanta. I was kind of young, so the job offering seemed like it was a good idea at the time. This day and time, I probably wouldn't have taken that job. But so that brought me here. I ended up working for that job. It was a show, so I worked the first season of it. And after that ended, it kind of the production company kind of just left me out in the water. Like, it wasn't much help. to help me find anything new or even come cast me for something else. So I started to have to find 9 to 5 jobs working here, and that's how I ended up at State Farm Arena. COVID-19 has impacted my life dramatically. Just with that, it made me lose my job. I got let go because working at State Farm Arena, we depend on the crowds, we depend on the artists coming to perform, and we depend on the basketball games. So being that they canceled literally all of that, there was nowhere for them to fit me in. I was working for an LC that was working out a concession stand, so we were one of the first to be let go. And that resulted in me not being able to pay my rent, and that which resulted in me being homeless on the streets, hopping hotel lobby to hotel lobby, trying to catch a quick nap. If I could get an hour, I would get an hour. If I could get 30 minutes, I'd get 30 minutes. I'd be on to the next hotel lobby. Lord, my mama, my mom, like just trying to pull strength from wherever I could pull strength from. God, my mom, my ancestors, just like if the people before me could do what they did, live their life, and that's why I'm here, then I can live mine. I'm going to push forward and keep pushing so that whoever comes after me will be here because I kept pushing. So just that I wanted to make it success kept me going. Scarcely, cause Sally, if you get caught inside of a hotel lobby, that's loitering. You're supposed to do that. So they weren't all open to letting me eat and stuff in there and stuff like that. But you know, I would do what I had to do. I had to turn to some ways I didn't want to turn to eat sometimes, but you have to do what you have to do. So I'll say scarcely. I honestly came to the house and gained a few pounds. So resourcefulness, that is one thing. If you are ever in a situation, you must be resourceful and use Google. Find Google's your best friend. So I went to Google and I typed in youth shelters just because the homeless rate for youth in Atlanta is pretty high. So I knew that they would probably have a shelter directed to youth. So I went on Google and I looked up youth shelters and pulled up a few. But the Covenant House website seemed the most promising. It just offered the most programs, and I feel like it would be the most promising. My first week at Covenant House was actually very, very enjoyable. I enjoyed meeting other people coming from different walks of life, but in the same situation as me. I liked learning their stories and just learning how we all got here, and us working together to make sure that we never come back here. And I enjoyed that the staff were so, helpful with group and directing me until I got my case manager and just doing whatever they could to make sure that I was comfortable being that I was coming off the street. They, made sure I had my blankets, my pillows, I washed all my clothes. It was very, very almost like going to your grandmother's house after her in a few weeks. I dream to be a talk show host, the youngest African American male talk show host. That's my dream. I want to have my own talk show. I want to go to school for media and communications so I can get that done. Well, for one, by getting myself together, making sure I get back into school, get me some degrees under my belt so I'm educated and I know what I'm talking about. Going to school for media and communications would definitely be the direction I want to go so I can, get around the people I have to get around and network with the people I need to network with, and pretty much school and networking. I feel like that's what will get me there. Today, I'd say I'm struggling with being present, being here, being now. It's so easy to get discouraged when in a situation like this that you go in your head and you just kind of go away because you don't want to deal with what's on the outside. But I've learned that that's not healthy. Shouts out to Covenants. That it's not healthy to dive into yourself when it's so much going on the outside. You have to handle your situation that's going on the outside. You can't run from things. So just being present and handling what I need to handle. That's what I'm working on today. I am most thankful for Covenant House of Georgia. I am. If I had not come to Covenant House, Lord knows where I would be. I would probably be on someone's hospital bed. So I am very, very thankful that Covenant House of Georgia opened their doors to me and that they've provided me with all they've provided me with, that they feed me 3 times every day. I am very, very thankful. I would like to thank the staff at Covenant House for working throughout the COVID-19, working and trying their best to make sure that everyone's comfortable. I would like to thank the youth at Covenant House for making that first step and just trying to better your life. And I would like to thank all the Covenant Houses over the nation just for being there for youth and being there and giving them somewhere, giving them hope and being a beacon of light in their life.
What an outstanding story of today's journey, and the mission and guiding principles of Covenant House. Their guiding principles and work is guided by a mission to serve youth with absolute respect and unconditional love, to help kids who are suffering, and to protect and safeguard all children in need. And so those principles that I mentioned just before that interview guide them into the work and also carries them into the work out in the communities. I'm going to next show you a small video of some of the work that's done in the community here locally in Michigan, but there are Covenant houses in various cities and still new Covenant houses that are to launch. From 2017 to 2020, new houses opened for youth in Anchorage, Alaska, Asbury Park, New Jersey, Berkeley, California, Chicago, Illinois, Elizabeth, New Jersey, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Mexico City, Toronto, Ontario, Vancouver, British Columbia, Washington, D.C., and York, Pennsylvania. So their goal is to aggressively stretch to reach more youth each year in residential programs. And here you will see how they are helping youth that have chosen not to be in the traditional residential program.
What we're doing is going by one of our regular clients' place where they stay to see if she's ready to get her medication. This young lady, she's been homeless for a while. She used to be inside the shelter, but she decided she'd rather be out on her own. So we just pretty much just trying to serve her right in the community, right from the street. One thing about Covenant House, they may have the shelter, but the outreach department get an opportunity to be there for the ones that really don't want to do the shelter. Hannah! See a lot of young people that, could be aging out of foster care and don't have the family support. We're going to go on the west side. So many young people have been let down by so many different family members sometimes, and so many different organizations that it's hard for them to trust. Usually we try to pass out as many cards as we can to tell a young person about Covenant House, because, even though they may not need services right now, they may need it in the future, or they may know somebody that need it. So we make sure we get those cards in their hands, because usually what'll happen is, a week from now or 2 weeks from now, if something happened in that young person's life, they might say, oh, I remember I got a card from the outreach team. Let me call them. I need their help right now. The card we give out looks just like this, and it's English and Spanish. It tells you all the services that Covenant House offers, and on the very bottom it has the 24-hour number. The great part about this card is, even if a kid not homeless and dropped out of school and need educational services, we even have our school numbers on here. And we talk to the young people about education too, because we know that education is important too. What their situation is they just don't, their family is together, the houses is not a housing that that's suitable for children. So, the mother really don't have the money, but she do have a voucher, but trying to find a place for her and all of her 8 children has been very difficult for her. I'm gonna walk over and knock on the door and see if the young people ready for shelter. It's just not a capital, no heat, no warm water. It's not a stable living situation. It's Miss Stephanie from Winter House. You ready?
Our youth need your support. And food insecurity is one of many ways, and shelter and support. Food insecurity is so big to me because I've never experienced that. And I'm the opposite. I'm a foodie who probably needs to implement a better diet. Not probably does, but I love food. And it would be hard for me to imagine living a life as a teenager or as an adult and have such food insecurities. But the reality is, there are so many people that live, especially children, adolescents, and youth, in a world where they are wondering where their next meal is coming from, their next place to shower, their next place of stability. And so I hope that during this month, through the 31st, that you will consider Covenant House. You can go to covenanthouse.org, and that you'll consider giving. In this month through the 31st, your giving will be doubled. $50 feeds 386 young people, and your giving will be matched and doubled. And so, whether or not food insecurity is something that touches your heart, think of it this way, that there are young people who, largely through no challenge or fault of their own, are in situations where they don't have the opportunity to experience what you and I may take for granted every day. I do my best to be grateful and live and have grateful living as a lifestyle every day. But I'm reminded that there are those that are in the community of humans who need some assistance. And I am committed as a partner to Covenant House to help young people, which is a passion of mine. I love young people, but to help those that might just need support, to help them have hope and get their bearings for a positive future, to build for them an infrastructure and a network of resources for their individual success. Join me in giving to the Covenant House. I know there are many charities, especially in COVID-19, but you've seen the interviews. There are young people whose homelessness, whose transient life has been gravely impacted by COVID-19. And I hope that there is space in your heart to give to them, to help them during this time where we've all had to pivot. I'm Marcus Holmes, and one of the things as the HR Passion Guy that I'm passionate about is giving to help others. And I think that this is a great cause, not just because I'm a foodie and I am really become starkly aware of food insecurities, but because wherever we have platform, influence, or power, we should use it for the good to help others who just need our assistance. This has been a great Passion Friday. We started a little rocky with the meditation moments, and we'll bring it back so that you'll have a chance to be in the virtual reality. I hope that you will share this content, and most importantly, I hope that you will consider supporting Covenant House at covenanthouse.org. As I go, we are closest that I think we've ever been to our launch of our first book. It's a small offering, a small book on the gratefulness journey every day. What are you doing in the next 30 days to transform your life? I close my eyes when I say that word transform, because what I want to evoke in you is this thought of sheer joy and peace and equilibrium where you are not just living in fear or frustration or anger. And I've met all three of those. But the gratefulness journey helps you to use the power of gratefulness in a small and simple habit to transform your life. It will be available exclusively on Amazon, and I hope that you will support the book, write a review, and share widely. Until then, have a grateful day and weekend.